Hello and welcome to my 5th tutorial video. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Now that we've finished our add text function, we can go straight to where our enter conversation and leave conversation events are, and add it in and connect it to the enter conversation. Now we'll need 3 of these, so go ahead and duplicate it. And for the first one, it'll be the character holder for the panel widget. Drag that in there. And the array will be the character array. Let's see, is this the... Or have we not made that yet? Let's see. Okay, so we're going to make a... Make sure, yeah. Okay, so we're going to need to make a character array, so just go ahead and promote that. And name it, character array. And then for the second one, it will be the buyback panel widget. And I'm assuming we don't have that array either, so let's go ahead and make this an array. It will be the buy array. And the third one's going to be the sell widget. So drag that over there and create another array. There we go. So now that we got those, let's go ahead and set some of the options real quick. So for the character holder, we would need conversation checked and a button checked, since this will be where you're conversing, and it will have buttons so you can click on them. And for the other two, it says they're not conversing with someone since you're just buying stuff, so you're not going to be a conversation, but the buttons are still going to be checked so you can click on them. And this will be called leave conversation. So this will be the button that you click to leave, and this will be back. These both will be, so those will be the back buttons for the sell and buy. And do we have, let's see, we do. Okay, so get the character loop count and connect it to that. And we do have these also, so connect these. So now we'll have like number 1, number 2, number 3 for the options. Of course, if you don't want that, you don't have to connect that to the loop count, and it'll just won't have the number there. Okay, so now let's drag this over here and collapse it, and add 2 pins, which will both be execute pins. And this will be our node for resetting the conversation or ending the conversation. So inside of here, drag off of that red thing and click, let's see, oh no, okay, we have to drag off of the character array and get the first one, and then bind event to button clicked. So we're binding, there we go, this button to this event, so that when you click on this widget's button, it'll activate that event. And get the buy array, cell array and do the same thing. Bind, probably just duplicate, bind, go, okay, and these two other events will be bound to two more custom events. So this will be the back by button, bind that, and then another one will be the cell back button. There we go. And we'll need the enable by and enable cell. Wait, don't get those. You need to set them to false. So just drag alt and I'll make it set to false. There we go. And connect that there. Now we're going to need another function, which would be the main reset function. Let's add that real quick. And so in this function we'll be resetting everything. So we'll need to get the player controller and set the input mode to game only, so you don't click on, or you won't have the mouse shown anymore. Although if you do want the mouse still to be able to be seen, then don't do that. And get the set conversation. We'll just look over here. Our enable conversation is set it. There we go. False. Then we'll need another function, which is the leave function. No, that's not a function. That we need to get the NPC and then get the leave event. That's what it is. Okay. So that'll reset everything in the NPC. And now we need another function. This one is a function, which is the refresh widget. So this will refresh all the widgets. Let's go over here, drag, connect, compile. Okay, so on the refresh widget, oh wait, before we do that real quick, it should automatically connect to the return node, so you don't need to do anything. But in the refresh widget, it's quite big. So let's get the character array, by array, cell array, and we're gonna empty these all out so that when we do the conversation again, they won't have stuff inside of them. So we're gonna need 3 for each arrays connected to each array. I said for each array, didn't I? For each loops. Go and drag off this, clear. Connect that. We'll need that 2 more times for each array. There we go. And if I can connect there, okay. So now drag off of here and get remove from parent. So this will remove them from all the parent widgets, and then it'll clear the array, erasing them. From, yeah, okay. Oh, there's one more array that we didn't make. Yep. Okay, so let's go ahead. It's the same. Make sure it's the same. Yep. Okay. So duplicate your character array, and it's going to be the NPC array. So drag that one in here. You can just copy or duplicate that. Okay. And connect. Okay. Now I think we've got all the arrays. Let's check. Yep. So now let's back to our variables. Set NPC text. The blank NPC loop to checked. Character loop checked. And you'll see what all these do when we actually get to using them. Right now we're going to clear everything real quick, or set it up so it can be cleared. So let's see how many of these we're going to need. 3 more. Oops. Forgot. And that'll be for each of these arrays. Okay. Let's see, now we need these. Set them back to their defaults. Okay. And the character text. And each of these okay, make sure they're all of these are 0. Let's see. Yep. Okay. Okay, so I put the arrays that we created into the conversations tab real quick. But now that we're done with the refresh widget, that'll be connected to the out. So don't need that. Okay. So now that we have that, we can go back here and continue on. So let's see, is that okay? Get the player controller again. And set input mode, game and UI, so you can the mouse will show up. Don't hide the cursor, or you won't be able to see it. And select widget will be get references to self. Okay, then we'll need a branch. Okay. So if you don't have any images, then you can go ahead and skip this part. Let's see. Like the NPC image. Just make sure it's correct. Yep, that's what we need. So this is just checking if there is an NPC image or not. Because if there isn't, then we're going to hide the widget, so it's not just a white box. And so on the true, get, let's see, where do you drag off? The NPC image, set visibility to self-fit test invisible, and then another branch, and okay, so that'll be, let's go ahead and make the false, because that'll be the character image. So if it's false, set visibility to collapsed. Okay, and connect that to the branch. Oh, I said is visible. Oops, it's supposed to be is valid. There we go. Okay, so character image, it's just character image. Connect that. Same thing, duplicate. True, false, target to the character image. Okay, one last thing. We need to get, so where's that coming from? Okay. Get the conversation data. There we go. Split it. Now NPC image set. Oh, we need to go over here. Set brush from texture. So we're actually going to add one thing real quick. There we go. Okay, so the texture is that. Same thing, target, texture. Okay. Now, I set the wrong stuff to valid. So, drag that down there, and instead connect this to each of these. Because that would always be valid, since that's automatically we already created that. So if you want to connect it to these, make sure you actually have an image in there or not. That was my bad. Okay. Now, we got everything. So, drag off, get a sequence, connect everything to it. Oh, almost those two to it, yeah. Okay. Pile. Drag off of here. We're actually going to need a node, so I don't think you can make a node without a, yeah, hold on. Let's see, what do we need for this first node? Okay. So let's get set NPC text and right click on it, collapse to node. This will be the NPC node. We'll need an input, which is text, called text, which will be connected to the NPC text. Oh, and exe. Execute. Okay, connect that to the first sequence. And same thing for the character. Set character text, collapse node. Character node. Oops, that's not node. Node. Same thing, two inputs, execute and text. Okay. This actually need an out execute pin also. That is not execute. Okay. And connect that to your character text. There we go. Now the sequence has no valid output. Okay, so if your sequence says there's no valid output, it's just because you have to do that real quick, I think. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, we're going to work on the NPC node first. And that'll be, let's see, so after the NPC text, connect that. We'll need off of it a while loop. And this will be the NPC loop boolean. Make sure that's true as default, or else it will not loop for the first time. So go over to your functions and get the check line function. Connect that. And get the NPC text. And since this is not the character text, you'll need the character selected. So, off this we'll need 2 branches. Branch, duplicate. That's not connected to the true. Yeah. Okay. So this is connected to the left too big. This checks if the text is too big. If it is, it's going to have to split it up. So we're going to go to somewhere else and do that. And so the second branch is connected to the split. So if it's the text split in half or not, or actually not split in half, but if you have a break /break in there, it'll make a new line. So off of the true, actually off of both of them, we'll need the add text. So let's go ahead and get another one of those. They're just going to have different options. False, true. Okay. Now for this one, input pin is left. And because it did split, we are resetting the NPC text again. But this time it's going to be without that split part. Left. Oh, nope, that's wrong. That's right. So we split off the left part of the text, and we're resetting the right part so we can loop again and see if it splits again. And this is conversation. And let's see, we're going to connect it to, oops. We have to connect our array and panel widget variables. So I'm just going to drag off of here, NPC holder and NPC array. That'll be for everything, so just, okay. There we go, now that should go away, yep. Okay. For this one, set the NPC loop to false since it's false for splitting, which means it's done. Doesn't need to go again. And conversation, make sure it's checked. Okay, input text for this, since it does not need to be split, it's just the regular text. Yeah, okay. Now we're going to need 2 more of these for if the text is too big. So let's go ahead and add the arrays in. Okay, and the NPC holders. Oh, I attached it, okay. So, for these, will be coming off of the true, except we need another branch to see if it's split or not. So, true, false, split. And just connect them to their respective set nodes. There we go. But the pins are going to be a little bit different. So, because it's big text, the big text selected. And the right big text for the right big text slot. And the input pins will be the big left text. Okay. There we go. So that's it for the NPC. So now your text will come up in the NPC slot, which is right here. So they'll start adding that depending on your text that you have for the NPC and your data. Oops, okay. So now we're on to the NPC node. Let's go to the character node. And it's pretty much the same thing, but a little different because I don't even need the NPC loop count. I don't know why that's in there. Or is it being used? Oh, in the refresh widget. Okay, we don't even use the NPC loop count. So yeah, we don't use that. Don't know why I had that. So just delete it from your refresh widget also, and you'll be able to delete it. Okay. So in the character text, make sure we connect that to the input pin, and get the while loop again. This time we're going to connect the completed to the output. And the condition will be the character loop. So we can just copy from the NPC if you want. So let's go over here real quick. Just copy all that. And we're just going to replace everything with the character. Oh, before we connect that real quick, we gotta set one variable, which is the character loop count. So you can have numbers like option 1, option 2, option 3. And of course, if you don't want numbers in your character, you don't need the character loop. You can delete that, just like we did the NPC. Okay, so connect that to a integer plus integer, and that will be connected to the character loop count. There we go. Okay, connect. Okay, so right click on the character text and replace variable with character text. Try set input. Wait. So, that should replace. Okay, well, just that should have replaced it, but it's not working. So, delete it, I guess, if it's not working for you, and reconnect it to the respective pins. And this hopefully works. No, it's not working. Okay, well, huh. Okay, well, that's not working for some reason. So We're going to have to reconnect it all. See, that's the right text. Yep. And connect that. Should that execute then? Okay. So if that's not working, I'm guessing this isn't going to work either, but just in case, I don't know. No. Okay, so we're going to have to delete this, I guess. Set character loop false. There we go. Connect that there. And we're going to need two things off of this, which is the character loop count to 0 and set enable conversation. There we go. So that'll stop it from looping and that'll reset the character count. And that makes it so the newly added text will show up, because we don't want it showing up before it's finished adding, or else it will just have it added in. If it's slow, your computer, each one will add in instead of them all at the same time. Of course, if you want that, we do something a little different, but we're not going to do that. So we need to replace these. No, it didn't work. Okay. Get the character holder, character array, add them to the functions. There we go. Okay, now we're going to change some options on these, or not change, but add. So it's a character, so it has a character holder, and it's going to have a button so you can click on it. And since we're using the loop count up there, I'm going to need a number checked. So you have like button 1, button 2, button 3. Of course I won't say button, but sure. Yeah, okay, so do that for all the other ones. Go down here, but there we go. Sure didn't miss anything. Yep, okay. Yeah. So we're done with that. Conversation. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to stop that video there, and the next video will be for the buy and sell and the actions node, which I think have the quests and stuff in it. And that'll be our last one.